Exposed. The incredible encounter with a homeless man that revealed a life-changing family secret. Jake Thompson had lived a simple, hard-working life as a mechanic in a cozy suburban town where dreams felt tangible. When he stumbled upon Sam, a homeless veteran, everything changed. Sam's weathered face told tales of sacrifice and loss. In glimpses of resilience behind his tired eyes, Jake saw the shadows of his own struggles. The contrast between their worlds was stark. Jake's garage, a humble haven at the edge of town, fought to stay afloat while Sam scavenged for survival on the streets. "Can I share my lunch with you?" Jake asked one sunny afternoon, the scent of grilled sandwiches wafting through the air like an invitation. Sam's surprised smile felt like a breakthrough. From that day on, their shared meals became a ritual, weaving their lives together in unexpected ways. Jake would listen as Sam spoke about battles fought both on distant soil and within the confines of his own mind. The scars Sam carried transcended mere physical reminders of war. They were wounds that festered in isolation and despair. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As weeks passed, Jake felt an unbreakable bond form between him and Sam. In their conversations, vulnerability flowed like a river, each confession drowning out the noise of judgment that surrounded them. Yet as they shared hopes, laughter, and disappointments, Jake stumbled upon a family secret that would jolt him to his core. Sam wasn't just a stranger. He was tied to Jake's family history in ways that could unravel everything Jake thought he knew about his father, a man once held in high regard, now bogged down by pride and regret. Confronted with this revelation, Jake's heart raced between gratitude for Sam's friendship and an anger that bubbled over as old family wounds resurfaced. In their small town where lawn mowers hummed an idyllic tune, the cracks in Jake's world widened. Sam's eviction loomed over their heads like a storm cloud, threatening to burst open floods of despair. Simultaneously, a sudden drop in business was squeezing Jake's garage, leaving his dreams of stability hanging by a thread. What would become of their friendship now? Would they be able to lean on one another when life pressed down hard? Or would these circumstances pull them apart just as they had forged a bond? As tensions rose, the air thickened with unspoken fears, the air crackling with questions that needed answers. With a trembling hand, Jake opened a letter, a relic of the past that could forever change their lives. What lay inside could shatter the barriers between families, intertwining their fates in ways they never expected. The cryptic words lingered in the dim light of his garage, and just like that, Jake stood on the precipice of discovery. Would he accept the truth and embrace the magic of their intertwined destinies, or retreat to familiar patterns of solitude and fear? The world around him faded, and in that moment, Jake was left wondering what secrets lay waiting beyond the horizon. Jake took a deep breath, his heart pounding against his chest as he unfolded the letter. The faint scent of aged paper filled the air, and his mind raced with possibilities. What could possibly be written that would tie him to Sam? He read slowly, the carefully penned words gripping him tighter with each line. It spoke of a bond that traced back years, things hidden beneath layers of family pride and shame, names he recognized from childhood but never connected. The letter confirmed Sam was his uncle, the brother of Jake's estranged father. The implications hit like a thunderclap, leaving him stunned in the middle of his garage, surrounded by echoes of engines and memories. Jake's thoughts spiraled. How had he never known that? How had his father kept such a secret? He thought back to those family gatherings, the way his father had winced at the mention of Sam's name. It all made sense now, a fracture in the family history that left a gaping hole Jake was only beginning to understand. "Hey Jake, you coming?" A voice called from the back of the garage. It was Mike, his closest friend and fellow mechanic. Jake paused, his eyes glued to the letter. Mike had always been there to share the burdens of life, but this was something different. He wasn't sure how to share this. How could he explain a truth that felt like a cosmic joke? Instead, he shoved the letter into his pocket, determined to sort this out alone before bringing anyone else into the turmoil. "No, I'm good," Just working on something, Jake replied, forcing a smile that felt strained. Hours passed, but time barely registered as he wrestled with the tumult of familial ties and his growing friendship with Sam. Each line in that letter churned thoughts about the childhood he had taken for granted. He envisioned Sam's life on the streets, the battles he fought, and how often he had brushed by him without realizing the connection. The thought filled him with guilt. He decided he needed to speak to Sam, to understand him beyond the surface. He needed to face this unexpected connection head-on. As the sun set, the glow of the orange sky painted his garage in a warm light, offering a momentary comfort that felt fleeting. Jake grabbed his jacket and headed out, a determination fueling his steps. When he reached the park where they usually met, anxiety gnawed at him. Sam sat on the same bench, a crumpled paper in his hand. Jake felt a wave of relief mixed with a burden as he approached. Sam looked up, his expression shifting from one of distraction to recognition. "Hey Jake. Good to see you," Sam said, his voice familiar yet laced with something deeper, a current of unspoken words swirling between them. "Can we talk?" Jake asked, his tone serious. He could hardly meet Sam's gaze, feeling the weight of the revelation lingering in the air. "Oh, sure." Sam straightened, curiosity piqued. "Everything okay?" Jake hesitated. It felt monumental, almost impossible to start. As he found his words, the world around them faded, leaving only the two men tangled in familial threads that bound them together in an unforeseen way. "Sam, there's something I found out," he began, feeling the urgency pulse through him. "About you, about us." What would Sam say? Would the bond between them shatter or solidify? Jake held his breath, waiting for answers that could change both their lives forever, wondering if they were ready for what lay ahead. Jake stared at Sam, the words stuck in his throat like a stone. Would revealing the truth bring them closer or push them apart? He took a quick breath, summoning the courage to plunge into the depths of their unexpected bond. "Sam," he started again, the weight of the letter pressing heavily against his chest, "I found out that you're my uncle." The declaration hung in the air, thick with tension and disbelief. Sam's eyes widened, surprise etching into the lines of his weathered face. "What? How? Who told you?" "My dad." "Well, his brother." "You?" Jake fumbled with his words. "This letter said you were his brother." "I never knew." Sam blinked a few times, real feelings battling across his features: shock, confusion, then something that looked like vulnerability. "I didn't think he'd ever talk about me. I thought he wanted to erase me." Jake's heart ached as he saw Sam's defenses starting to crumble. "He never did." Jake swallowed hard, remembering the harsh words between his parents now. He was dealing with his own stuff. A silence fell between them, filled with unspoken histories. Jake could see Sam grappling with the revelation, his fingers playing with the crumpled paper, a makeshift lifeline perhaps. "But why would you want to talk about this now?" "I'm just some old ghost. It's not like I fit into whatever life you have." Jake shook his head. "It's not like that, Sam. I've been thinking about what we could have, what I could have known." Sam looked toward the ground, the weight of his past evident in each shadow of his face. "You think it's easy, don't you? To just jump into family like that. You know nothing about me, Jake. You don't know what it's like to struggle every day." "I want to know," Jake urged, desperation leaking into his voice. "I want to understand. I don't want to lose this opportunity." Sam's gaze met Jake's, a flickering of hope kindling in the depths of his eyes. "You think it's that simple? You think we can just pick up where family left off?" "I have to try," Jake said, his voice now firm. Everything he had learned, the parts of Sam's life he had only glimpsed before, reverberated in his heart. "We're tied together. I want to know you, Sam, who you really are." Sam's expression softened momentarily, revealing a complex mixture of hurt and longing. "You have no idea what you're asking, kid." "Maybe not," Jake replied, his heart racing. "But I want to know about your life, your stories, and the things that defined you. It matters to me." For a moment they were two men, strangers struggling to weave together a fractured history. Jake felt that bond wanting to spark, holding the promise of healing and understanding. Yet the silence stretched on, heavy and poignant. Suddenly Sam stood, looking out into the fading daylight, the shadows lengthening beneath the trees. "You should know, Jake, my life is in a fairy tale. The streets, the regrets, the choices I made, it's all hard. Are you ready for that?" Jake nodded, determination burning in his gut. More than anything, I need to know the truth. With a deep breath, Sam turned to face him, vulnerability and strength lined into his features. Then let us start this. But remember, you might not like everything you hear. Jake's stomach churned with anticipation. Was he ready for the unraveling? The quest for answers had begun, still steeped in uncertainty and possibility. He took a step closer, feeling the weight of both fear and exhilaration. What happens next? Jake asked. Sam looked back, his eyes a storm of emotions, and for a moment, just a moment, hope glimmered. Would they embrace this journey or stumble through it in darkness? As the sun finally dipped below the horizon, they stood on the edge of something monumental. Would they find their way together? Or would the truth tear them apart? Sam took a deep breath, his weathered hands clutching the letter tightly, as if it could keep him grounded. All right, he finally said, his voice low but steady. If you really want to know, then we'll start from the beginning. Jake nodded, his heart racing. He felt a sense of gravity in the moment, like a door slowly creaking open, revealing shadows of a past he had never anticipated. He tucked his hands into his pockets, battling the tension in the air. Long story short, Sam began, glancing up toward the sky as if the stars might hold the answers he was searching for. Your father, he made choices, some that left me behind. We grew up together in a small town. Mom worked 2 jobs and Dad, well, he had his own demons. I got caught up in the streets. I had to survive from a young age. Jake's mind tingled with the truth of Sam's words. Survive how? Drugs, crime, whatever it took. I didn't want to, but sometimes that's just what happens when you're lost. Sam leaned against a tree, his face darkening with memories that lined his features like scars. I tried, believe me. I tried to keep my head above water. But I fell hard. An image flashed through Jake's mind, his parents' arguments, the way his father studied Sam's picture with a mix of sadness and shame. Didn't he try to reach out? Sam's eyes clouded. He did. But I pushed him away. I thought I was a curse to him, a weight he couldn't carry. I figured it was better for him to forget about me. That's the way life was supposed to be, no strings. Jake felt the weight of regret in Sam's voice, a shadow that seemed to cling to him. You weren't a curse, Sam. Just a kid trying to make sense of everything. And my dad, he should have fought harder for you. Sometimes fighting isn't enough. Sam's voice wavered, and Jake could see the chinks in his tough exterior. After I hit rock bottom, I ended up like this, cold and alone on the streets. No family besides the ones I lost. Jake's chest tightened. But you're not alone anymore. I'm here. It felt like a reckless promise, but he meant it. Sam looked at him with a guarded hope. You say that now. But what if you find out things that haunt me? Things you wish you didn't know? I'll face it. The words spilled out before he could think them through. You're my family, and family sticks together, right? There was a flicker of something vulnerable in Sam's expression, and Jake almost thought he could see a ghost of a smile, lost among stormy emotions. You're brave, kid. Most wouldn't even dare get close. Jake's pulse quickened. Not from fear but from determination. Together we'll find a way. We can figure this out. I want to help. The twilight thickened around them. Sam's gaze softened, as if Jake's words wrapped around him, pulling him back from the edge. So what do you want to know? Everything. Start with your stories. Tell me about the day you left home. A moment of hesitation filled the air, tangible and heavy. Then Sam began to speak. His voice shook as he wove together stories, each one more heart-wrenching than the last. With every revelation, Jake felt layers peel back, not just from Sam, but from himself, burdens he didn't even know he carried. Time slipped away. The shadows deepened. Each story painted vivid images in Jake's mind, drawing him deeper into Sam's world. Each word a small piece of the puzzle that was their shared family. But beneath the surface, Jake sensed this was just the beginning. Sam was opening a door, but would they find solace or more heartbreak on the other side? Suddenly, Sam paused, his eyes glimmering in the fading light. You need to understand, every story I tell you has a price. Are you willing to pay it? Jake inhaled sharply, his heartbeat echoing in his ears. What do you mean? The truth isn't just revelations about me. It's about your father too. There are things he never told you, things that haunt me every day. Jake felt his heart race once more. This was a shift he hadn't expected. What do you know? Sam's expression hardened, but there was an urgency beneath it. Let us sit down. I'm about to reveal everything. They moved to find a more comfortable spot. Jake understood that they were on the verge of unearthing buried truths both heartbreaking and potentially life-altering. He couldn't shake the feeling that the revelation would test their fragile bond like nothing before. What secrets loomed dark and heavy in the shadows of their fractured family tree? And as the night closed in, would the answers build bridges or burn them down? The night wrapped around them like a cloak, thickening with every passing moment. Jake shuffled awkwardly on the ground, shivering slightly as the evening air nipped at his skin. His heart was racing, anticipation mixing with fear. The weight of Sam's words hung in the air, the silence between them almost palpable. Let me tell you about the last time I saw your father. Sam's voice broke through the stillness, rough yet steady, like gravel crunching beneath their feet. His gaze didn't waver. It remained locked on the horizon, as if he were lost in the depths of a distant memory. Jake leaned in closer. What happened? It was a cold winter morning, Sam began, and Jake could almost see the frost hanging vividly in the air. I was on edge, feeling the world crumble around me. Your dad, he was different that day. He was filled with this fire, like he was on the edge of change but also scared. I could see it in his eyes. What do you mean? Jake pressed, urgency tinting his voice. Sam shifted his weight. He had plans, big ones, but he needed someone to believe in him. He wanted to escape, to leave this place behind and start fresh. But I was too far gone. I couldn't follow him. I had so many scars. I thought I'd bring him down. Jake's stomach churned as he fought against mixing feelings of admiration for his father's ambition and the ache for what could have been. So he just left? Not exactly. I remember watching him for the last time as he packed what little he had. He told me he wouldn't give up on me, that someday I'd see the light. Sam chuckled bitterly, a rough sound that echoed through the stillness. But I didn't want the light. I wanted the darkness to swallow me whole. A wave of sympathy washed over Jake. Didn't he ever try to find you again? Oh, he did, Sam replied quietly, his eyes darkening with regret. But I was a ghost by that time, someone he couldn't recognize. I refused his calls and eventually he stopped trying. I think that shattered him. The night seemed to grow heavier around them, each word a brick that fell deeper into Jake's heart. What do you mean shattered? How do you know? Because I saw a piece of him break every time I looked at that picture, Sam said, finally meeting Jake's gaze with that long-lost sincerity. Every time I saw him from afar. He wore pain like armor, carrying the weight of our past like a chain around his neck. Something inside Jake clicked, pieces suddenly aligning within him. He loved you, didn't he? Even after everything. Yes, Sam whispered, his voice cracking with emotion. He loved me. And I let him down just like I let everyone else down. A silence settled between them, tender yet painful. As Jake processed the weight of Sam's confession, he felt the shadows of regret settle around him. Yet there was something else, an urge to break through that darkness, to shine a light on the past. Sam, Jake said, drawing in a deep breath, what if you reached out to him now? What if you saw each other again? Sam's eyes widened, shock twisting his features, then faded into a trembling uncertainty. Can't you see? The wounds run deep. It's not that simple. But nothing is ever simple, Jake replied, snapping his voice sharper than intended. Can't get worse. What if he's been waiting all along for you to come back? The weight of Jake's words hung in the air, thick with hope and fear. The flickering light of a nearby street lamp cast shadows across Sam's face, illuminating the sorrow etched in his features. You're talking about reopening old scars, Sam said, voice laden with hesitation. What if he hates me? What if I'm too far gone? Or what if you're exactly what he needs? Jake shot back, his voice rising with defiance. What if you're the missing piece? The challenge hung between them, heavy with potential. The night seemed to breathe, drawing them both into its depths. For every story Sam had shared, a new layer had peeled back, more pain but also perhaps the glimmer of hope for healing. Sam met Jake's eyes, vulnerability written across his face. But what if before he could finish, a sound shattered? The quiet, the unmistakable distant siren of a police car, zeroing in on their location. I don't know if I'm ready for this, Sam muttered under his breath, shifting slightly as nerves began to creep back in. Jake could see it in Sam's eyes, a battle of fear and possibility. Whatever happens, we're in this together. We find the truth or we don't. But we'll face it. As the siren echoed louder, drowning out the quiet between them, Jake felt a surge of urgency. Time was slipping away, and with it, the chance to uncover secrets that could change everything. Just tell me, Jake urged. What else do I need to know before it all goes dark again? Sam's brow furrowed, fear wrestling against the flicker of courage in his eyes. You need to know about the night that changed everything for both of us. The night when everything fell apart. What would Sam reveal that night? And would it be enough to bind them closer or rip them apart forever? The siren's wail grew louder, vibrating through Jake's chest like a drumbeat of impending dread. He glanced at Sam, who remained frozen in thought, eyes distant and haunted. Jake felt a tremor of urgency ripple through him. Whatever Sam had to say, it needed to be said now, before fear snatched it away again. Sam, please, Jake urged, trying to catch his breath. Tell me what happened that night. An unexpected rawness settled in Sam's voice, heavy with regret. That night, everything escalated. Your dad tried to save himself, but it all spiraled out of control. It was the culmination of our choices. Jake's heart raced, each word drawing out a painful twist of curiosity and desperation. How? What happened? It was after the arguments, after I let him down one last time. He stood there in our old spot by the creek, and I was feeling lost, drowning in darkness, Sam recalled, his breath hitching as the memory wrapped around him. He offered me his hand, that lifeline. He thought I could pull myself out. But I was too far gone. I thought I could push him away for good. What did you say? Jake whispered, a knot forming in his throat. I said the cruelest things. I told him to leave, to never come back. Sam's voice cracked, the weight of those words almost suffocating. I thought he'd be better off without me. But I was wrong. So wrong. Jake took a step back, feeling the sharp edge of betrayal cut through the air. He understood pain, but hearing his father's truth fracturing like this made his heart hurt in ways he never expected. What did he do after that? He walked away, Sam said, a shuddering breath escaping him. And in that moment I felt absolute emptiness. I knew it would change everything, but I was too scared to acknowledge it. Sam's gaze dropped, as if drawn to the weight of his own words. Silence draped over them again, thick and suffocating. Jake swallowed, his mind racing to find a way out of this darkness. But how did it all end? Was that the last time you ever saw him? Sam nodded slowly, the devastation echoing through his movements. I didn't know it then, but it was. The next day he was gone. I was left with the ghost of our last conversation, and I didn't even know where he went. Jake's heart hammered fiercely against his ribs. The fractured pieces of his family history felt like pages torn from a book, leaving behind an incomplete story. You didn't try looking for him? Not once. I was drowning in my own chaos, Sam admitted, eyes glistening with tears. Then when I was ready to find him, I called. But it was too late. The phone rang, but he never answered. And when I learned he had disappeared, I was crushed. A raw silence followed, both men caught in the web of shared grief and loss. Jake felt the world around them fade until it was just the two of them, tangled in their truths. But maybe he still needs you. What if there's a chance for you to make this right? Sam's gaze searched the dark sky. You don't understand. I built a life in my silence. What would I say to him? How could I even begin to explain the years I threw away? Maybe by showing him you've changed, Jake offered, a flicker of hope igniting. By being the person he always believed you could be. Sam's brow furrowed, and Jake could see the conflict raging within. The siren now felt far away, but the weight of the conversation remained. What if it's too late? Or what if it's just the beginning? Jake challenged, feeling the fire of determination swell as the possibilities unfolded. You owe it to yourself, to him. It's not just about closure, this is about healing. The moment hung in the air, charged with potential. Sam's eyes glistened, a mix of fear and longing crashing within him. You really think he'd want to see me after all this? Jake stepped closer, firm and resolute. I think your presence might just be the light he's been waiting for. Sam blinked, the fight in him flickering. What if he doesn't remember me? What if he's moved on? Then you'll remind him, Sam. Remind him of the good times. You have to try. The words felt powerful, surging. Like a tide pushing against the shore. Just then, the sirens faded completely, swallowed by the night. An electric mix of hope and fear pulsated between them, a fragile thread threading the past to the present. So, are you ready to take that leap? Jake asked, heart pounding, with the weight of this decision resting heavily in the air. Sam hesitated, his hands clenching into fists as uncertainty clawed at him. What if I fall? Then I'll catch you, Jake replied simply. But as their fate loomed ahead, Jake could sense something lurking just beneath the surface, something not yet revealed. The stakes had never been higher, and for every step they took toward healing, another shadow of the past lingered, waiting to unfurl. The night pulled tighter around them, and as the weight of those unsaid words filled the void, Jake realized time was slipping. What secrets were still hidden, waiting to be unveiled? Jake watched Sam wrestle with his thoughts, a tempest raging behind his eyes. The sirens were gone, but the alarm within him hadn't quieted. His heart felt like it was pounding in sync with the memories torn to shreds between them. The past loomed larger than the present, pulling Sam deeper into a web of guilt. It was haunting and unrelenting. Sam, Jake said, pulling him from his spiraling thoughts, what if you just talked to him? No expectations, just a conversation. What is stopping you? Sam's gaze fell to the ground, tracing invisible lines in the dirt with his shoe. What if he can't forgive me? What if he never even wanted to see me again? His voice was barely a whisper, cracking under the weight of his fears. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you try. Jake took a step closer, sensing the shift in the air around them. You've got to fight for this. Isn't that what family is about? Not just showing up when it's easy. Sam's breath hitched, a mix of gratitude and frustration washing over him. You make it sound so simple. It isn't simple, Jake admitted, shaking his head. But it's a door you can open, and who knows what's on the other side. Jake thought of the door he'd slammed shut on his own past. The relations frayed but still alive in some capacity. You have a shot at redemption here, Sam. Don't let fear win. Sam's clenched fists relaxed slightly, revealing the battle he was fighting within. A pulse of determination danced in Jake's chest, urging Sam to push through. What if he's changed? Sam asked, his voice thick with emotion. What if he's moved on, left all this behind? Then you show him what he means to you now. Jake's words came out stronger than he felt, but he believed them. You become the living proof that he still matters. The silence hung between them again, heavy and full of uncharted territory. Finally, Sam lifted his head, resolve beginning to flicker in his eyes. You're right. I need to at least know. But how do I do that? Let us start with where he last was, Jake said, quickening his pulse with a spark of unexpected excitement. We can look for him together. If he's out there, we're going to find him. Sam nodded slowly, a bridge forming between the past and a future that seemed 2 distant moments before. I'd like that, Jake. Thank you. Anything for you, man, Jake replied, a genuine smile bursting forth, lighting up the weighty moment as they set off side by side. A warmth began to fill the air around them, a glimmer of shared determination. They walked through the quiet of the night, past the faint hum of streetlights and distant chatter, the world unaware of the battle currently unfolding in their hearts. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows ahead. A follow-up to his father's story? Or just another distraction from their mission? Jake's heart raced again, thoughts spinning as they drew closer. The silhouette was unkempt but familiar, with a tentative stance that felt oddly echoic. Jake? Sam gasped, his voice dropping to a hush. Yeah, it's him, Jake whispered back, fear and excitement electrifying the air. But as they approached, the truth began to settle thick in the atmosphere. The man before them was not the father Sam remembered. Wait! Sam breathed, halting abruptly as recognition flickered across his face. Behind the bearded exterior and weathered clothes, someone was staring back at them. Someone who felt as lost as they did. Who are you? The man said, confusion clear in his tone. Jake felt Sam's tension radiate beside him, the air thickening with uncertainty. What had they strayed into? The moment held its breath as they stood on the precipice of unexpected revelations, and then Sam blinked, voice trembling. Who are you really? The answer was crucial, and as they waited, the night suddenly felt charged with a power not yet understood, ready to unveil secrets they had barely begun to uncover. The man narrowed his eyes, as if brushing away the fog of confusion. I, I'm just a guy trying to get by. What is it to you? His voice rumbled like distant thunder, echoing the unease in the air. Sam took a cautious step forward, his heart pounding like a drum. No, you don't understand. You look like someone I know. Someone I've been searching for. My father, is that you? For a moment the man's expression softened, and an emotion flickered in his gaze. Your father. He repeated, the words hanging like a fragile thread between them. I'm just a ghost of your memories, kid. You shouldn't be looking for me. Jake could feel the pulse in Sam's throat from where he stood, the air heavy with unshared stories. No, you are him. I can see it, Sam insisted, urgency weaving through his voice. You need to tell me. What happened? The man shifted, glancing away, vulnerability creeping in around the edges of his tough demeanor. Things went south, fast. Not easy to explain in a few words. You wouldn't understand. Try me, Sam urged, stepping closer, desperation and hope blending into a vibrant plea. With a deep, shuddering breath, the man ran a hand through his hair, disheveled and wild. I lost my way. Lost everything I had. Including you. His tone dropped into a gravelly whisper, jagged edges revealing a man stripped down by life's cruelty. I wasn't what you wanted me to be. It was as if a door creaked open inside Sam, the crack letting in light where shadows had tangled for years. Why didn't you come back? He pressed, feeling corners of his heart ache painfully against decades of absence. Because I thought you'd be better off without me, the man replied, each word heavy like stones. He seemed to shrink under the weight of the past. I couldn't face you or your mother. It was easier to disappear. I was ashamed. The honesty felt like a blade slicing through the tension. Yet it also brought warmth as understanding began to coil around Sam's heart. So you just gave up? Sam said, anger peppering his hurt. You didn't think about what we wanted? The man's gaze flickered back to Sam, and for the first time, the distance in his eyes began to crack. I didn't. But I've thought about it every day since, he said, voice raw with regret. And it's haunted me. Jake took a step closer, sensing the heavy transformation wrapping around them. You have a chance to make things right, to talk, maybe even to reconnect. You owe it to each other. Reconnect? The man scoffed, a bitter laugh escaping him. What makes you think that's even possible? I'm nothing but a reminder of everything that went wrong. Sam felt his chest tightening, every breath laboring under the reality before him. No, you're more than that. You are my dad. And I still believe there's a chance for us. Silence settled thick between them, holding heavy truths and unsaid words. The man's eyes glistened with unshed tears, the weight of his crumbled past pressing down upon him. For real? He murmured, looking both terrified and hopeful. Yeah, Sam said softly, determination lighting up within him. For real. And just like that, in the heartbeat of a moment, a chance for connection shimmered before them, fragile and beautiful. But as hope battled with uncertainty, an unreadable expression crossed the man's face like shadows dancing in the fading light. Just know, he added quietly, whatever happened back then has wings and roots that run deeper than you think. Jake and Sam exchanged a glance, questions spilling unbidden into the silence. What did he mean? As the night stretched out, mysteries lingered in the air. The path back home now felt both bright and uncertain, filled with flickers of possibility but burdened with the weight of old scars. With hearts pounding and new emotions swirling around them, they felt the moments of magic intertwine with fear. What would they uncover next? And as the night deepened, the man began to turn away, leaving the shadows behind, sparking a desperate urgency in Sam's chest. Wait. Please don't go. There's so much we need to talk about. And as the figure faded into the darkness, they felt the chilling edge of unresolved questions slicing into the air. What were the family secrets hidden beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves? Sam's voice echoed in the stillness, hanging heavily like a weight without liberation. The man was slipping away, faster than Sam's heart could process the turmoil that surged in him. Don't go. He reached out instinctively, fingers brushing against the air where the man had stood, but it was too late. The figure dissolved into the shadows, swallowed by the darkness. Sam was left alone, breathless and confused. A cold chill wrapped around him as he stood there, caught between despair and hope. Did you see that? Jake asked, urgency lining his words. He stepped closer, concern etched on his brow. Who was he? Sam turned, meeting Jake's gaze, his heart racing. That was my dad. That's him. He is alive. The revelation felt surreal, like a fresh wound just reopening after years of numbness. He remembered the sparse photographs, the echoes of laughter in his childhood, and the empty chair at family gatherings. The notion that somewhere, somehow, his father was still existing in this world and battling his demons ignited a fire within him. And he just left? Jake's voice dripped disbelief. Just like that? It wasn't he just like that, Jake. Sam snapped, frustration bubbling to the surface. There's so much I don't understand. I need to know his side of the story. Jake took a step back, raising his hands in surrender. Hey, I get it. But you can't just chase after a guy because he looks like your father. What if he is not? What if he is dangerous? Dangerous? Sam echoed, the word tasting foreign on his tongue. He is not dangerous. He is scared, lost. I can feel it. The certainty in his chest blazed brighter, refusing to dim under Jake's practical concern. He is still my dad. I have to try. I'll go with you, Jake offered, eyes widening as if he were giving in to a reckless adventure. You shouldn't face him alone. Thanks, Sam replied, relief washing over him. Together they turned, scanning the dimly lit street, searching for the man who had slipped through their fingers. Every corner held the weight of uncertainty, shadows lurking in every alleyway. Sam felt sick with anticipation mixed with a sense of longing that nearly consumed him. What would they talk about? Could he forgive the years of absence in exchange for understanding? Where do we even start? Jake's question fluttered through the air, echoing Sam's turmoil. What if we don't find him? Sam shook his head, determination hardening within. We have to try. He can't just slip away again. Not after all this time. As they wandered through the streets, each step heavy with uncharted emotions, Sam's mind raced with thoughts of their next conversation. Would his father share memories? Would they step through the fog of time to face the truth buried under years of silence? Then, a flash of recognition drew Sam's attention. There, huddled beneath a flickering streetlight, the man sat with his back turned, oblivious to their approach. It was him, the lines of his silhouette painfully familiar yet unseen for so long. Sam felt a jolt in his chest, a mix of fear and hope swirling within him. There he is, he whispered, glancing toward Jake, who nodded, stepping closer. What do you want to say? Jake prompted, and Sam felt the weight of every unsaid word pressing him down. I want to tell him I understand, that I forgive him, and maybe, just maybe, we can find a way back. But as they drew closer, Sam noticed the figure flinch, as if sensing their presence. Was he really ready for this confrontation? Would it heal them or drive a deeper wedge between them? Taking a deep breath, Sam stepped forward, determination surging within him. Dad. It's me. And as the man turned, Sam's heart skipped a beat, bracing for the uncertainty that was about to unfold. What awaited them in this moment? Would it bring clarity or more questions? The moment hung heavy in the air, time stretching like a tightrope between the past and the present. As the man turned, his eyes locked onto Sam, confusion melted into recognition. Sam? The raspy voice trembled as if carrying lifetimes of pain and longing. Yeah, it's me, Sam replied, a mix of hope and fear coursing through his veins. Memories flooded his mind, tiny fragments of laughter, shouts, and the void left behind when his father disappeared. I've been looking for you. A silence lingered, thick with unspoken words. The air felt electric, charged with the weight of lost years. The man's gaze softened, revealing years of suffering, regret carving deep lines into his face. You shouldn't have found me, he said, regret echoing in his tone. I'm not worth it. Don't say that, Sam countered, stepping closer, his heart racing. You're my dad. I need to know why you left, why you stayed away. The vulnerability in Sam's voice caught like a spark, igniting something deep within them both. With a deep sigh, the man ran a hand over his bearded face, exhaustion spilling from him. Sam, I never wanted to be the ghost in your life. His words wobbled, revealing the cracks in his defenses. I thought leaving would protect you, protect your mother. But it didn't protect us, did it? Sam's eyes stung, a mix of hurt and sorrow pressing against his chest. You left a hole that never filled. Don't you understand how hard it was? The man's shoulders sagged under the weight of his past. I didn't realize until it was too late. I lost my way. Drugs, my own demons, they took me further away. And for that I'm so sorry. Tears blurred Sam's vision, the floodgates of years held back crashing forward. Each word Sam spoke felt like peeling an onion. Layers of pain revealing depths of forgiveness he didn't know he still held. I've struggled too, Sam admitted, a catch in his throat. But I found this friend, he showed me how to reach out again. It made me see I wasn't alone. Who? The man asked, glancing over to Jake, who stood silently by, eyes wide with understanding, ready to support Sam's journey. That's Jake, Sam introduced, a wave of gratitude washing over him. He helped me see that family isn't just about blood. It's about opening that door no matter how painful. The man's gaze flickered, a shadow of doubt mixing with a glimmer of realization. A friend? Someone who cares enough to stand by you? Dad should be there too, Sam replied, a quiet determination deepening his resolve. We can find a way back. A chance to understand each other. For a moment, the man looked as if the weight of the world had been poured on his shoulders. Loneliness, guilt, and loss swirled together in a delicate balance. I wish I could say it's that easy. There are things you don't know, dark places I've wandered to. Maybe it's not easy, Jake said, finally stepping forward, his voice steady and reassuring. But you both deserve a chance to fight for each other. To heal no matter how hard it gets. Sam nodded in agreement, feeling a spark of bravery blooming within him. Let us start now. Share the stories, the pain. You've got to trust me enough to believe that we can work through the darkness together. The man's eyes brightened with a flicker of hope, as if for the first time, he saw an opportunity instead of doom. What if I still mess up, or I'm still a burden? Then we'll figure it out, just like we're doing right now, Sam said. A radiant smile threatening to burst forth despite the uncertainty. We won't shy away from the truth. Silence settled, but it didn't linger as shadows. There was newfound understanding, a bridge forming between them. One moment stitched together by honesty and vulnerability. As the night wrapped around them, a sense of warmth filled the air. The hope blooming like flowers breaking through the concrete. Each shared breath carried the weight of 1,000 unsaid apologies, the promise of potential healing beckoning them forward. Let us walk, okay? Sam suggested, taking a hesitant step toward his father. Together. The man nodded as he accepted Sam's outstretched hand, and the three walked side by side, the tensions of the past easing away with every step. Time wove them into a new chapter. A canvas painted bright with stories, future possibilities sprawling out ahead. The distant streetlights flickered like stars, illuminating their hopeful path. And suddenly, the weight of the world felt lighter. How do you feel? Jake asked, glancing sideways at Sam as they ambled into the future. Like we can rewrite everything, Sam replied, heart swelling with possibility. As they moved further into the night, their bond solidified, a real family formed not just by blood, but by the sincere desire to understand one another's hearts. Together they could find the way through the darkness, building a light that would outshine the shadows of their past. Now it's your turn. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories that inspire powerful transformations. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help us reach even more people. Comment your thoughts about this emotional conclusion and how you feel about Sam and Jake's journey. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this heartwarming transformation. You need to support the channel. It's the most important time to show your love.